So my little spiel today, now without the other teacher, is using Edpuzzle for formative assessment and instant feedback. So this is basically an outline of the process and the logic, and then we'll go through something in real time. Okay, so haere mai, which is welcome in Te Ao Māori, because I'm from New Zealand. So in the chat, it'd be great to see where you're joining from and your experience with Edpuzzle, which would be good. Okay, so about us, well, if Jason was here, he would tell you that he is an American, that he has 10 plus years in education, and he's currently at Noblesville West School in Indiana, the MS, I don't know what that is. And it also, as mentioned by Manny, he is a Edpuzzle ambassador. I'm a New Zealander, same thing, 10 plus years in education. Currently, as mentioned, at Marlborough Boys College in, why do Americans struggle with this word? Blenheim in New Zealand. Okay,
It
so
has
yeah.
a lot of
Uh,
H's. That is weird. I'm sorry. It looks odd.
I got one H. It's
I
one
mean,
H.
people
Um,
spell Edpuzzle with capital P. You explain that to me. That is okay. I'm sorry.
yeah,
I'm
I've
out.
got nothing. Right, that's fine. And I previously worked in China and Malaysia, and I'm also a trainer and an ambassador. So basically, the plan for today, Dan Tootin, because I just arrived from Texas. So I'm actually on Texas time at the moment, Central Time. So that's great. So why we need feedback, or what's the importance of feedback, the importance of questioning, and also celebrating every victory. Was this a giant peach? Anyway, there we go. Right, so feedback. So feedback essentially is the food of the champions, okay? So Edpuzzle is quite useful in this because it's a tool that it allows giving feedback quite easily, and I'll show that soon. And Edpuzzle also allows feedback to be constructive and specific and timely, because that's the key thing as well. For example, at the moment, I'm marking an assignment for my senior students. I'm marking it by hand, and because of that, it's going to take about a week to get through the process. Whereas with Edpuzzle, as soon as the student basically submits his or her answer, then they're going to get timely feedback, instant feedback, and it's going to be specific to them and also constructive how to move forward. Okay, so what's the importance of feedback, especially formative feedback? So the way in my classroom, at least, feedback works is we have a pre-assessment before a topic that kind of teases out the student's prior knowledge. And again, Edpuzzle can be used for that. So you basically create a video about the topic and you can then ask them questions about the topic before they've even been taught it. Okay, so it's kind of an introduction. So that gives you me an idea of individual students and the individual students' strengths and weaknesses. And also it allows me to incorporate something we call in New Zealand called ako. So ako is the idea of reciprocal learning. So once I know which students don't know certain things and which students are pretty clued up, then I can start possibly pairing those students together in the classroom, and that'll depend on each different subject. So some kids are really great at one particular topic, other kids are great at other topics. That means for every topic, that's always mixing around. That also gives the students agency and also gives them a bit of a big up because they're basically seen as an expert as well as along with me in the classroom. So that's the importance of pre-assessment. It basically drives how I'm going to teach that topic because then I'll know, well, what are the weaknesses, what are the misconceptions, what do I need to actually focus on. And then that's the universal design with blended learning models. So that's where the Edpuzzle comes in. And then we go through and focus on different topics and answering particular questions. I can then collect assessment data on that in real time. So again, it's a circle, so I'm always adapting my videos, always adapting my resources in the classroom based on the student feedback. So some kids are going to be strong in certain things, some kids are going to be weak. So it's about building up those strengths and focusing on those weaknesses and building those weaknesses to become strengths over the course of a unit. And that's where I'm using the data basically to differentiate instruction models and support. And then at the end, we have the summative assessment for the topic, which we always tend to do. And that will kind of give me a guide of how well I have taught that as a teacher and also how well the students have gone through the process, the iterative process of this learning loop or the feedback loop. Cool. So the key to that, of course, is your wonderful questions And again, since I've just come from Texas with its jalapeno peppers, questions are the spice of learning. So you can spice up your Edpuzzle with a variety of question types, which I'll soon show, and tasks like choosing the perfect seasoning. Okay, so just recently we've added, for example, the idea of adding quizzes or adding slides. And that's just a different mode of showing information. So that's the UDL principle of representation. So it allows learners to interact with the information in different ways. In terms of the questions, they are either multiple choice or open-ended questions, and they add unique flavour to your questioning. So multiple choice, the key to multiple choice I've found, at least from my point of view, is that the answers have to be very similar, because I want the students to be thinking when they're asking the question about, well, why do you think this question might not be quite right? Why does A quite slightly better than C? Why is B probably not going to answer the question? And also I can then tease out misconceptions about their understanding from where they get the multiple choice questions as well. And the advantage, of course, is the feedback system. So Edpuzzle allows you to provide personalized feedback in the form of images, equations, if you're a maths, I'm saying maths, but for the rest of the American audience, math, equations, text and links, and that's basically over the secret source of student success. So basically the students might get a question wrong at first instance, but then they get instant feedback with either an image, an equation, text or links to guide them onto the next question correctly. Because remember, fail is only a first attempt in learning. Okay, so it's about, I think, reimagining assessment as not just a tick box exercise for the students, but a learning process. I think we need to go back to the idea that learning is a process rather than some sort of way to differentiate students from other students. So in terms of that, in my classroom, we celebrate every victory. So in the world of Edpuzzle, every correct answer is a reason to party. In fact, every wrong answer is a reason to party, because a wrong answer means you're going to learn something, which is great. Everyone loves to learn. And you can use the grade book in Edpuzzle 2 to track the triumphs and throw a fiesta for your student achievements. After all, who does not look like a good party? I know many does. Right, so I'm going to stop share that and then go back to my website. Okay. There's a scope on that. And throw in, I realise that's a spelling mistake in Americans, but anyway. Share back to here. Okay, so we'll go back to sharing the page. Right, so basically, this is an example from the recently updated quiz. So the question is, what is the colour of the sea? Now again, in terms of representation, you can either add a link to that as well, so students can actually go into a website and try and extract that information. In terms of the time limit, I tend to make it infinite, because I don't want them to be under time pressure. I'm trying to understand their learning. I'm not caring how long it takes them to learn that. It's about getting it right. And so that's just one way to do it there. They can also use audio as well. In fact, that's usually what I do for these questions, especially the open-ended questions. I leave it as audio, because that way they get infinite time to be able to reply back to it. And then we have different questions. So for blue, I don't tend to add feedback to correct answers, but for this here, you can add feedback. So you either type the feedback here, you can add a link to a website, which can then direct them to the correct answer. So for example, it could just, so if we're talking about why is the sea blue, it could be a website about the physics, because I'm a physics teacher, about why is the sea blue. You can also add an equation if you're a maths teacher. And there's a whole range of different equations which Mel would be really excited about, and I am also as a physics teacher. But yeah, that's basically an example there of how we can give quick feedback in there as well. And you can also add inserting images as well with the questions, because again, English is second language. Maybe they don't understand the word blue, but if you have the color blue there as an image, then they can answer that question. It's another way to show the understanding. Okay, we'll exit that one there. Yes, I will discard you. Actually, I should have shown you the open-ended, actually. Should go back to quizzes again. It's new. And open-ended, same thing again. You can add the feedback there. You've got equations. You've got a link. Don't see any images yet, actually, because that would be quite useful as well. Potential images. That's another update possibly coming soon. Okay, I will close that. Get out of this. I'll exit. There we go. Discard. And say for the slides, after you've uploaded slides, you can also create questions in there as well. But I haven't got any slides at the moment because I wasn't really prepared. This was Jacob's job to do, but never mind. Don't blame him. Yes, I'll stop sharing now because that was basically the gist of my little spiel for 15 minutes. And if there's any questions in the audience, I'm going to go back to the everyone. There could be some of the questions as well. So here we go. So Zohra, is it possible to integrate these quizzes and presentations into Schoology by using the extension? That's probably a question for Manny because I don't use School. There you go.
Okay, I love how you just
Oh,
throw it
yes,
at
you
me.
can.
And I'm gonna say it's a
15.
question for Stephanie Bass in the chat. I'm kidding. Now,
Yeah.
okay. The only thing that does not work with LMSs is student projects, okay? Because privacy. Those videos don't leave Edpuzzle. Now, think that you are going to be creating everything in Edpuzzle. You always create in Edpuzzle and then you assign depending on the LMS, like with Schoology, you do it through Schoology. So now, listen, I don't have access to Schoology and I don't have students. So this is just new. I'm gonna use the
Mm.
same with Classroom, same with all the things.
Yeah.
We're gonna
I,
use
I
them.
do use Google Classroom. Yeah, it does integrate with Google Classroom. I
Oh
definitely
yeah, yeah,
use
yeah.
that.